welcome back to another episode of the Everyday Joy podcast. I'm your host, Ash Owen, and I cannot wait to find moments of joy with you today. Now, if you didn't listen to yesterday's episode, you may or may not have known, but we have officially started doing a live video recording. We're just trying it out. We're just seeing how it works. But why don't you have a look over on YouTube? That way you get to know what our guests look like. You can have a bit of a chat. You can pop it on your TV. I can't wait for us to jump into today's episode with Jacquie.
Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. That's Proverbs 16:24 from the NLT.
Jacquie, we are here recording episode number 2 for this week. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Now, we are in the middle of summer.
Yes.
But are we in the middle of summer?
Well, it kind of feels a bit like I think summer might be this week.
I hope so. Basically, if you don't live in Melbourne, Australia, we're in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And it has basically rained every second day since before Christmas.
Yeah. And not just like mild rain.
like
super rain.
Like little flooding rain every 2 days.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
It's been wild.
Jack, let's just jump straight into today's words to live by. So we have Proverbs 16, verse 24. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. What a verse.
What a verse.
Yeah.
Love it. It's one of those ones, I mean, I love Proverbs.
Yes.
Anyway, but it's one of those ones that just stands alone.
Totally.
It means what it says.
Yeah.
It's just there for our good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
This is a verse that was kind of one that I have always known of and heard about. It's kind of like what I feel like my parents just brought me up knowing and thinking and believing, which is so awesome that they did that. But when I read it, I also go, wow, maybe as I have grown up, maybe as I've got older, have I become a little bit slack? I'm not saying that I'm out here saying horrible things all the time. I'm not. But it's a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Because if the Lord has said, make your words sweet, we should be learning to make our words sweet. And I guess for me, when I read this, I go, okay, I need to make sure that I am putting honey with every single word that I speak to people. I wouldn't say I'm a super harsh or abrasive person, but I have been known to get frustrated every now and then. Don't we all? Yeah. And I think it's very easy to chuck the honey aside very quickly.
Yeah.
And
so forget the honey even exists in the moment.
Correct. Or just like not have any at all. Yeah. So I suppose this verse, when I read it, the Lord knows how much good, sweet conversation does and has and impacts on other people. So as a believer, how much more should I be ensuring that I'm speaking that out and talking like that in my day-to-day world and conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, because it says kind words, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, it highlights the difference between being nice and being kind.
And there's a difference.
Oh, there's such a difference. Because I think too, just from not even just in Christian circles, but when we try to be nice, we can become a little bit inauthentic.
Totally.
And it can come across as a little bit condescending even, or a little bit like not actually being real, right?
Yeah. Like I can put a smile on and I can say nice things.
Yeah.
But am I actually displaying kindness and love? Because that looks like action. It's not just the picture that you're painting. It's actually how you're outliving your life.
Yeah. But I can be nice to somebody, but it might not be kind. You could have a great big like green bit of lettuce in your teeth, and I could be nice and say, you look really lovely today. Or I could be really kind and say, Ash, you are looking super fab today. You just got a little something.
I don't think I have ever distinguished that, actually. Like, I don't think I've ever thought there was a difference between kindness and being nice.
Yeah. No,
but there is, and it makes a difference because when we actually choose kindness, it sometimes is actually going, I'm going to have to face, like you said, slight little bit of awkwardness, or I'm actually going to be kind. It's actually not necessarily just the easy, airy, fairy, I love you, love hearts everywhere, there's no problems. Yeah. How do I actually show kindness in all that I do,
Yep.
which is actually more, like unselfish than being just nice.
Yeah. It's tougher.
Totally.
Like you said, it's more awkward.
Totally.
But it's kindness.
And I guess the last little bit is it's sweet to the soul and healthy for the body.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we've all had moments where people have said things to us or we've said things to people, and the moment it comes out of your mouth or the moment you hear it, you go, oh,
no, I shouldn't have done that.
It's like it's just the bitterness of totally. You regret it the moment the words come out of your mouth. When I read this, it shows me that God just knows how deeply in friendships, in relationships, in workplaces, in whatever circumstance you're in, kindness and words like that are essential to build good relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know like the whole context for this, but healthy for the body, you could read that as healthy for your body, healthy for their body, but healthy for the greater body in the sense that you are able to communicate. Honestly, if we just wrapped it up with a bow, this verse is like, learn how to communicate good, guys. Yeah. Like do communication well.
Yeah, because everywhere you go, guess what? There's going to be other people.
Totally. Yeah. And if we are called to reflect and show Jesus and to be the hands and feet of the Lord, we need to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
We need to be able to demonstrate what it looks like to choose kind words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be kind.
Now, Jack, is there a time where this verse has come alive in your life?
Oh, the most recent thing I can think of is, as we were talking about, I moved house just before Christmas.
Neighbours, if you didn't know. I'm very excited. I haven't come across you on my morning walks yet.
One day. So, yeah, we moved house.
Yes.
And now to say that my stress levels were elevated would probably be a gross understatement.
If you didn't listen to our episodes in like the lead up to New Year's, our last episodes of last year, Jack articulates her level of stress.
Yeah, it was high.
Long story short, Jack was in a stressful season.
Yeah, a bit of a stressful season. Work had been, like intense.
Yeah.
And, moving house and getting everybody corralled and, doing the clean.
Totally.
Doing that. And I had this beautiful friend, right, who turned up at my place and was like, okay, I'm just here to help. What do you need? And she went to give me a big old hug. And I don't mind a hug, but I'm not a huggy, touchy person.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nope, you can't, no.
There's too much stress in my vicinity.
Everything is just so heightened and so intense at the moment that any extra input.
Yeah.
And I'm probably giving away all sorts of things about myself, but
it's fine.
Anyway. And she just understood. And she was like, love, you're doing amazing. You're doing great. Come on, let's get into it.
Yeah.
And she was talking me through the process. So this was like a couple of days before we did the actual, the trucks here. We're going to get everything.
Totally.
And I was talking to her about how we were going to clean the house that we were moving out of. And she was in such kindness. And she was like, are you expecting a little bit too much of yourself now? Now, that's not always the easiest. You want to think that you're doing a good job.
You want to be like, I can do everything.
I've got this,
Yeah.
I've studied project management.
Yeah. You're like, I have a degree.
It's like, I can do this. And she was just like, are you really being the kindest to yourself that you can be right now?
Yeah.
If you've got it in the bank, get someone to come in and help you. And that's being kind. And I was like, and it was like instant. This weight lifted off my shoulder. And I just thought, you know what? That could possibly be the kindest thing I could do. And it was because she was kind, not because she was just encouraging and because she was being so lovely.
Yeah.
But because she had the kindness to say to me and actually pull it out a little.
Because I think what this verse is saying is kind words are sweet like honey, but they're sweet to the soul and the body. Because the thing is, if she just said, hey, you're doing great, they are kind words, but they're not actually going to remove the stress and anxiety and worry.
Yeah.
What was sweet to the soul was the truth of what she was challenging you about.
Yes.
And so I think that's what this verse is kind of saying is your words need to be sweet. Your delivery needs to be sweet. Do things that are kind for the soul and for the body. I've definitely gone through moments as well where I've had friends who have kindly called me out. And it is so important.
Oh, so important.
Because you need people around you who will keep you accountable, who know your character and don't have the like blindfolds that we as people have on ourselves, right? Because like you said, we just go, I can get it done. I can do it. I can push through. But your friends, they go, okay, well, I saw you last time you pushed through and you were struggling for weeks after that. I saw you the last time you pushed through and you made some poor decisions. Like the people that are around you are so important in speaking those encouraging words over you. I had this friend and she is just the most beautiful friend. And I had just been going through it was just a busy season. I've spoken a little bit about how, actually, Jackie, you probably can speak into this even more. Like a year and a half ago, maybe, I sent out an email and I basically just said, see you guys, I'm going on leave. I am burnt out. I was like, I can't do this no more. And I'm not saying I recommend that in future, but in that season, I was so burnt out. I have spoken about this before, but I don't even know. The only word I can say is just like I was so broken in that season. Yeah. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was emotionally drained. I was theologically confused. Like every sphere of my life.
You were literally cooked, like to use the vernacular.
Yeah. I literally was like, this is not healthy. And I remember, it might have even been you, Jack. I actually think you said to me, and you were literally like, what are you doing? Yeah. You were like, do you need to like do something and deal with this? And it takes sometimes someone like yourself to go, hey, actually, maybe even though you want to just keep pushing on, keep proving, keep doing whatever, like you need to take a step back.
This is only going to get worse.
Totally. And I think in that season when I took that step back, I had a friend and all she did was come to me and she brought me a little bouquet of like supermarket flowers and she just said, Ash, you are doing so well, but you need to look after yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that it's those moments of kind words that challenge you. And she basically sat down and she was like, you should try and do this and this, and this isn't healthy.
Yeah.
And in that moment, and you kind of said it as well with your friend, and it's so silly that we do this to ourselves, but there's something about when we get permission from a loved one to go, hey, like
you can step away. You can do something different. You can find to yourself.
Yeah. And so I guess like when we discuss this and when we look at this as an actionable thing, one, let's speak words of kindness. Let's like every day, every conversation, pray like, Lord, give me kind words. Like cover the things that I say in honey. Cover my attitude in honey. Like all of these things, Lord, help me to speak life.
Yeah.
But also go, Lord, how can I speak kindness into the lives of the people around me? Not just being nice, but how can I actively speak kind words into the lives of other people?
And the beautiful thing is, like, my friend who spoke to me like that, we've known each other for, I'm going to say a good 10 years. And we have built, that has happened time after time after time after time. I can say things to her. She can say things to me. There's an incredible trust and an incredible relationship built because we've been kind, because we haven't, we've been honest, we've been kind, we've been loving. There's been so much honey, it's like Pooh Bear on steroids.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like that's the beautiful thing. It keeps bearing fruit and it keeps growing and it keeps getting better and better and better. And that's what God is in our lives as well. So
it's so true. You know, maybe you're listening today, maybe someone's listening and they just desperately need to hear those words of kindness. Like, you can be that for someone. Like, people listening, you can be the ones who speak that encouragement, who bring the sweetness to someone's soul today. And I guess, you know, if you're listening today and you just need some encouragement, why don't you take a moment? Why don't you speak life over someone else? Why don't you take a moment to speak kind words, even over yourself, in the situation and the season that you're in? Well, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. We have had the best time chatting with you. We cannot wait to dive even deeper into the Word of God tomorrow, and we pray that you're able to find moments of joy today.